Yo, Beth, that shit crazy.
Welcome, everybody, to All Even Live exclusive. My name is Barry Grant Jr., host of the All Even podcast. To my left is Matt, the great Cataruzolo. Down at the bottom is Mike Guido, host of Guido's Gridiron Blitz. And who we have on the show today, former Major League player, Luis Lopez Jr. Welcome to the show, my man.
All right, Barry. Thank you guys for having me, man.
Absolutely. How's your family doing? How's everything going?
Everybody's going good, thank God. Finally getting over all this stuff with the COVID. I know it's still out there. We still got to be careful.
Right.
But at least it's with these vaccines and stuff like that, you're seeing it's starting to calm down a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna get mine as well.
Oh, good.
So yeah, I'm a baseball coach now, and I'm always around a lot of people and everything, and I just want to make sure I'm doing my due diligence, for the society.
Definitely, man. So I guess we'll start from the beginning. You know what I mean? Like, you're a New York kid, grew up in Brooklyn. So, kind of tell me how that experience was growing up playing baseball. Because I know, back in the days in the neighborhoods, in the hoods, like, baseball is a big thing. And, what made you pick the sport? There's other stuff to play, but what made you gravitate towards baseball?
Well, I'll tell you one right now is definitely my dad, man. My dad played, and ever since I can remember, since I was like 2 years old, so I could hold a bat.
Yeah.
I used to have this wiffle ball bat that used to compact, and then all you got to do is go like this, almost like a lifesaver, come out. So, I would always be hitting something. My dad told me I was always banging on the crib, everything, so ever since I could put my hands on the bat and the ball, I remember I had a passion for it. Whenever I watched it on TV, I'd stop. My dad was always watching the games, and it didn't matter. I mean, from a little kid, it just caught my eye. It was something that I wanted to do, and I knew I had it inside me. I knew I was going to play that. I also played basketball, but when once I got to high school, I was being on the recruiting stuff. I was being recruited by little schools in basketball and the big schools in baseball. And I said, okay, I know what I'm better at.
Right.
So, I think most athletes kind of figure out at some point in their life, like, okay, I'm pretty good at this. And again, that not everybody makes it to the major leagues. Of course, we all know that. So at what point did you say, okay, baseball's my thing? I'm better at this than most people.
Hey, right now I was pretty blessed, man. It hit me like right away. Probably when I was like 8 or 9 years old, I was supposed to be playing in my age group, and the league president comes over to my dad, and he's like, "Louis, I don't think we can play him in his age group. He's gonna end up hitting the ball, and might hurt a kid, or so we're gonna move him up because at that time I was already hitting the ball hard. I was throwing pretty hard for my age, so they moved me up to play against little league kids." So since I was 9, I was playing against 11, 12, and almost 13-year-olds.
Wow.
So right then and there, I said, okay, if they're moving me up like this, my dad was a little nervous. And I told him, I said, hey, I'll try it. I was just one of those kids that was very gung-ho.
Yeah.
It didn't bother me. I like challenges. And, once I saw I was able to compete there, I go, yeah, I might have a little something to work with. Even though I was short. I didn't grow till later on as I got older.
So, growing up in Brooklyn, New York City, there's two pretty huge teams there, man. Who was your team? Who'd you support? Who were some of the guys you looked up to, saying, every time they came up to the plate, you're like, whoa, there he is. There's my guy. Who were some of your inspirations?
All right. Well, as far as the teams, okay, growing up, obviously I was a Yankee fan.
But, good man. Baby. Good man. Good man. There we go. Right answer.
I was a Yankee fan. I remember half my life I grew up in the Bronx first, and then I moved to Brooklyn.
Okay.
So, that's where it kind of came from. I always liked the Bronx Bombers. Dad was a big time Yankee fan.
Yeah.
I mean, he loved Reggie Jackson and stuff. So that was his guy. When he played, he used number 44. When I was in high school and college, I used number 44 in honor of my dad.
Wow.
So, but yeah, that was my team, and my inspirations, the guys that I looked up to, man, I had a couple of them. One was Edgar Martinez for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Legend.
My guy.
Legend.
He was unbelievable, man. A right-handed hitter like myself. Dad was like, anytime you see this guy hitting, even if you're alone, I want you to stay and watch. Watch what he does.
Yeah.
The other guy was my guy, Tony Gwynn. He
Mhm.
rests in peace. The other guy was Paul Molitor.
Yeah.
I also liked Juan Gonzalez.
Juan
Juan
Gon was listen, he is so underrated in regards to like historically when you look at his numbers. He was something, man. He was something special.
Yep. So, and most of my career, man, it's funny because a lot of those, them guys had the number that was in common, 19. So that ended up being my number.
Nice.
Afterwards, after I got to pro ball, I wanted it to be my own identity, except for in the big leagues. We weren't no rookies. You're not allowed to pick your numbers right away.
Right. So, did you go straight to after high school? Were you recruited in regards to like going to the minors? Did you get drafted, or was it like, what was your road in regards to how you got to the next level?
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, man. It's a crazy road that I had to take. And if I was going to do it again, no doubt, sign me up.
Right.
At a high school, and this is what I tell all the boys nowadays. I pretty much broke every single record in my high school, everything. And I was playing with my buddies. They're still my boys. Manny Ramirez, Frankie Rodriguez.
Nice.
I'm playing against Rich Aurelia. The other two guys, man, Manny and Frank. We played in the same organization coming up in baseball, and I always used to watch these guys, see what they did, because they were phenoms.
Right.
And I thought I was a good player in high school, no doubt. I had my name. I was on varsity since I was a freshman. Like I said, I broke every single record there. But I thought I would get drafted, but I wasn't going to sign because I felt like I wasn't ready. Like my body wasn't ready. I needed to mature more. I needed to get stronger. I got out of high school young, man. I was 16.
Wow.
When I got out of there, nowadays they're doing all this reclassing. I wish my parents would have did that to me twice.
Right.
To hold me back.
Yeah.
But then again, at that, I knew I wasn't going to sign. I wanted to go to college, experience that. I also had promised my mom and my dad that I would get my degree no matter what.
Respect.
That was another thing that I wanted to do. So when colleges came around, a lot of colleges were talking with me, but nothing in concrete. Everything. University of Florida, University of Kentucky, Washington State, Pitt. The list went on and on. And then finally, I graduated out of high school in June. I didn't sign my letter of intent till the end of July. Now, I don't recommend this to nobody. It was because I felt like I deserved a full scholarship with the numbers and everything that I had put up. And, I didn't want to go to University of Florida, University of Kentucky to sit for 2 years before I started playing.
So it was kind of like an ego thing.
Yeah, ego thing. I wanted a good opportunity. I didn't want to sit. I wanted a chance to play as a freshman,
right?
And not waste my years. So that's when Coastal Carolina came around. They saw me in a tournament in North Carolina in July. And, it's funny how things work out, man. I was straight killing that tournament, leading it, hitting everything. Nice. At the time, I was a shortstop. We're playing in the semifinals, and the head coach happens to sit next to my dad. He had no idea it was my father.
Wow.
The score was 10-0. And I tell the boys this all the time. And I tell them, I'm sorry I have to refer to myself, but this is the best way I can explain to you guys that you guys never know who's watching.
Right.
10-0. The ball is hit up the middle. I dove, caught the ball, got up, and threw the guy out.
Wow.
So my dad gets up. He starts clapping. Hey, oh, good play. Good play, Lou. Oh, he goes. So the coach goes, wow, that's amazing. That kid don't give up.
Right.
I want that kid on my team. And he goes, these Brooklyn kids? Yeah, I know these Brooklyn kids. Okay, he goes, why on this sheet it says this kid, he graduated and he ain't even committed? And he's leading the thing and hitting and he's playing like that? Does he have good grades? And he goes, no, he has good grades. He goes, how do you know so much about him? He goes, because that's my son. So it kept going on. Well, Dad, I want to offer your son a full scholarship right here, right now.
Wow.
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 Incredible.
Just because of that one play, man.
Wow.
And I told the boys, So then I went home. They flew me in, saw the campus, and like a week or two later, I'm on campus going to school already.
That's
how
amazing.
late I signed my letter of intent.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And then again, we went there and had another great career too.
Dope.
It was a good story. A lot of people don't believe it.
Yo, that's an interesting path, man. You know what I mean? That's interesting, man. That's dope.
Yeah.
You see, I'm big into coaching, and you said before that you're coaching kids now. I'm starting to coach kids now. Honestly, I don't think I've ever had more fun in my life. First of all, coaching's the best. I love doing it. But I think it is so incredibly interesting, the differences between, the differences in coaching between, when you start out between little league, JV, varsity, and then you get into college, and then you get to the pros, and then you get to the majors, and, like, what is the difference in your experiences? What were the differences in the way that you were coached as you went up through the levels?
Okay. Well, ever since day one, between my high school coaches, my summer coaches, my dad, they were very big on fundamentals.
Yes.
So they broke everything down. They were like, even though I always hit third pretty much my whole life, either third, fourth, or fifth. I was in the middle order. But they always instilled in me that it doesn't matter. You still know you need to learn how to bunt.
Right.
You need to learn how to run the bases good. You need to be a complete player.
Situational hitters. Yeah.
Yeah, situational hitting, all that stuff. So, they would always grill me with that stuff. And that's what I think nowadays was lacking.
Yeah.
When I retired in 2014 from playing, and a lot of colleges came out, pro teams came out asking me to hire me for jobs and stuff like that. And I kindly turned them down because at the time I wanted to go to the high school level to help these kids. Because I was like, there's some type of disconnection.
Yes.
That the kids, I finished my career in independent ball, and the kids kept getting younger and younger that were showing up in independent ball. But once I started talking to them, they had no fundamentals, no background. So I go, this is where it's at. That nobody's teaching these kids this. So I wanted to go back on the high school level, for the kids that are very serious in baseball. And I wanted to start an academy, and I was able to start it with my partners, Sandy and Maria Ogg. We were able to start the New York Nighthawks Baseball Foundation.
Dope.
And the main thing the other thing is, obviously we wanted it to be diverse. That's one. Two, how do we create that diversity? By making everybody not pay.
Right.
Wow.
So nobody pays.
Wow.
We have sponsors and everything that take care of that. We've been blessed. Adidas, Evo Shield, Wilson, Louisville Slugger, Di Marini. And I'm also part of the MLB Players Association. They even stepped in. Tony Clark.
Wow.
He came in and he's like, he goes, Luisito, he goes, you're part of this? I'm in. I'm behind it. I'm backing it.
That's amazing.
So that's what we wanted to do, man, because a lot of these inner city kids just can't afford it, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We talking about a moneymaker, big time moneymaker. We know it. But, our main thing is, and once again, we can care less if we win trophies. We're going to compete, no doubt, especially at the showcase level, which is from 16 to 18.
Yeah.
We're going to compete because colleges want winners ultimately.
That's right.
Okay. We want to create winners. We collect grades, make sure that grades are good. And our trophies are the logos of the colleges that they sign to.
Wow.
That's what my partner always says.
That's good, man.
That's a great program. Sounds really fantastic.
It's a lot of fun, man. I mean, our first graduating class was 2018. So from 2018 to right now, we have close to 60 kids that are in colleges all over the country.
Wow.
Amazing.
Good for you, man.
That's amazing.
That's
man.
awesome stuff.
That's respect. That's respect.
Thank you.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's extremely commendable what you and your team have been able to do and give plentiful opportunities to a bunch of kids that otherwise may not have been able to experience that. So something interesting that I want to ask you about is you're again, kid from Brooklyn who's been on this crazy journey through a bunch of different leagues, the Northern League, the Mexican League, up until the majors. You played in Japan. There's all these different avenues that you've been able to explore. So how does it feel just being back in your home state of New York, coaching younger kids in similar situations? Does it all kind of feel like your journey has kind of come full circle since you began coaching back in New York?
Guaranteed. It's come full circle because I want to help kids that were like me. I was the same way. And I told them all the time, I was on that side. I'm just like you. I walked them same streets. I had the same dreams, the aspirations. Don't let nobody tell you that you can't make it to the big leagues. If that's your dream, you keep that. I know how many times people told me, "Yo, you're not good enough. You're slow. You can't hit with a wooden bat. You can't do this." And all I wanted to do was every level that I went, I wanted to leave my mark.
Right.
Yeah.
In high school, I did it. Then in college, I did it there. I'm in the school's Hall of Fame and in the conference Hall of Fame.
Wow.
And I still didn't get drafted, fellas.
That's crazy.
So I started from independent ball, and I already had my degree. So I said, let's roll the dice.
Right.
Let's roll the dice. Let me do it now.
Bet
when I was
on
20.
yourself. Bet on yourself.
That's right. Because I didn't want to, at 30, I didn't want to say, what if?
Yeah.
If I would have taken that job. Because I had a job on the line, everything, man. Set up to go to Florida to be a finance manager, $70,000 a year. And I said, thank you, but no thank you.
Right.
I signed a baseball contract for $700 a month before taxes.
So I guess tell us about that journey. Like, once you don't get drafted, you're betting on yourself. Like, what was the experience going down there in that Northern League? Like, what was it like playing there and then finally getting your opportunity to showcase your skills at the next level?
Well, the good thing is at the Northern League, man, it was mixed up. So there was ex-big leaguers on the same team.
Yeah.
We had Doug DeCenzo, Van Plantier. Those were the headliners. And then you had rookie guys coming fresh out of college like myself.
Yeah.
And we were on the same team. Yeah. So all I did was I would stay next to those guys and listen.
Just listen.
Absorbing information, listen to what they were doing, because I had never played pro ball. They already had, experience at every level and stuff like that. It was a great experience, but being a rookie in that league, it was tough because there was a lot of older guys. Right. So they gave the older guys a lot more playing time. And I didn't play too much. And this is what I tell everyone, be ready for your opportunity.
That's right.
Because they gave me an opportunity and they asked me, do you want to get traded to a younger league that you can play with more guys your age? You're an independent team playing in a league against affiliated teams, which is nowadays is unheard of.
Right.
Yeah.
So they sent me on loan to Ogden, Utah in the Pioneer League. So I'm playing against the Blue Jays, the Reds, the Padres, and I go, here we go.
Okay.
This is my chance.
Okay.
This is my chance because I know I'm gonna play, and I know if I do my thing here, somebody's gotta sign me.
Absolutely.
So I went out there with a positive attitude. Host, they put you up with a host family, which my host family was great, man. 2 twin brothers, Dave and Tim, man. I'll never forget them. They were like, here's your keys to your place. And I'm like, you guys not staying here? No, this is an extra condo we got.
Wow.
You stay here, it's yours. And by the way, these are the other keys to a pickup truck. I had an old beat up pickup truck like Sanford and Son. Getting around, I could care less.
Right. Respect.
Went out there, man, and then hit 360.
Wow.
That year, that summer. My first at bat was against the Blue Jays, and I went deep the very first at bat that I showed up in Utah.
Wow.
So I go, if I hit against their guys, they gotta sign me.
They gotta sign you, right?
Because it'll make all them scouts look stupid.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm sure that was like at the top of your list to make these scouts pay. You know what I mean?
That was my chip.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That was my chip on my shoulder, man.
Respect.
You telling me that I can't do this, okay? I already got this accomplished. Now we're gonna get into pro ball,
right,
and do something there.
Right.
360. So, it's pretty darn good. My God.
And I didn't win the batting title.
Wow.
And he won the
So who won the batting title?
my teammate, he hit like 370.
Wow.
Wow.
Gosh.
So both of us ended up getting picked up.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Boy, so
Mind
you get.
you,
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, mind you, right now, wait a minute, JJ Piccolo, I think he's the assistant GM for the Kansas City Royals.
Okay.
JJ.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
How about that?
Yep.
What's up?
Two guys that didn't get drafted, brother.
Right.
And
Right.
we were one and two in the league and hitting.
And that's what's up. That's what's up.
Amazing.
Crazy guys. Oh man.
That's why these scouts they don't know everything, man. They can't know what's in you. You know what I mean? They can only see the exterior and say whatever, but they don't know what's inside of players, man. And you know that's unfortunate.
You know what I call that? That's the 6 tool.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They always measure us on 5 tools.
Right.
And I go, no, you need to measure 6 tools.
That's
You
what's up.
need to talk about this dude. The dude's got heart and if he can play.
That's right.
Plain and simple.
That's
I
right.
can care less if he's short, tall, whatever.
That's right.
Can he play?
That's right.
You know, one of the most interesting things that I think I've ever heard a scout tell me, and again, because I know plenty of people that have gone through this, you know, very similar experience where, you know, scouts have literally told me they're just like, most of the time when I go to watch some kid at some high school or whatever, right, I end up signing a guy that
you didn't
wasn't
expect.
him,
Yeah.
right? Like this kid is clearly the best player on a team, but the guy that hustles, the guy that shows the most heart, the guy that dives on balls, the guy that, you know, slaps a ball down the third base line when you got runners on second and third, like that's the guy I sign instead of the super stud kid. So again, I keep dialing in on this coaching thing because I can relate to it at least a little bit. You know what I mean? That's what you got to tell your guys, man. Like it doesn't matter if they're here to see our starting shortstop. Like
Keep
you're playing left field. Who cares, dude?
Right.
Like you got to go after that stuff.
No, there's always going to be that star there on that team. And the funny thing is, in summer ball, I knew I wasn't because I had Manny Ramirez on my team, which, you know, you talk about a Hall of Famer. And then Frank Rodriguez, he was a two-way player that was just an absolute freak. Yeah. Golden Spikes Award winner. He won that in college. You know, he was the first JUCO guy to win it. And then Bryce Harper won it afterwards.
Right.
You look at them two guys, and in my mind, you know what I said? I go, man, my boys, they're phenoms. There's going to be scouts there. I'm going to ball out.
That's right.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to play hard.
Got excited.
Because then I'm going to try and get some attention to myself.
That's right.
You know, and that's what a bunch of us did, man. We had a team. I want to say there was a team that off that team that we were, when we were like afterwards, 17 or so, we came back from college, played a year together. And off that team, there was like 10 or 11 of us that got signed and played professionally.
Wow.
And 3 or 4 of us are in the big leagues.
Wow.
Off that one team. But we got picked up out of New York. So our joke is every time we come back, we always joke around with the New York Scouts because they're still here. They're still going. And I'm like, yo, you going to sign somebody finally or what? You know, you're going to let us sign when we're in South Carolina or in Texas.
Yeah, right.
All right, sign us here, man. Don't let us travel, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Deviating a little bit from your coaching days, I want to talk a little bit more about your playing time. So we've talked about your journey and how unconventional it was, at least up until a certain point. You were in the Atlantic League, you were in the Mexican League, you played in Japan, and then the majors. What were some noticeable or glaring differences between the leagues that you noticed? And with those differences, did you have to adapt in any way to those certain leagues as you changed?
Okay. As I first started coming through the system after I signed with Toronto, well, they invited me to extended spring, first of all, on my own dollar. I got invited. And I said, okay, I don't care. I have an uncle that lives close.
Right.
I'll drive an hour every day. I'll get there.
Make it work.
I just want to put that uniform on and see what happens. And sure enough, after like 2 weeks, you know, they threw me in the fire. First day I got there, you're going to play in the game. Boom, I had 3 hits.
Nice.
Second day at camp, they throw me in. I had another 3 hits. So the head guy, Bobby Maddock, he rests in peace. He comes over and he's like, Lope, I want to ask you something. why do you think you didn't get drafted or whatever? So I tell them all the excuses that I heard. Well, you know what? I think that's horse shit. Because if you keep hitting like that, you're gonna play in the big leagues for us. Go ahead, buddy. Go back to the field.
Wow.
When I heard that news,
confidence.
Yeah.
yes, it went through the roof. It went through the roof. And, you know, I became basically during my time in the minor leagues with the Blue Jays, I was basically the best hitter in the whole organization.
Wow.
And that I ended up winning. They have this award called the Webster Award, and they give it to the MVP of the team for each level. And they fly you up to Toronto, all the weekend, expenses paid, food, everything. They bring you on the field, they give you your plaque, you watch the games, all that stuff. So, and they give you a check of $2,500 each time you win it.
Nice.
Wow.
So when I signed, I already knew that they were telling me that the guys had told me about that. And I said, I've been on my own dollar. Can you at least sign me for $1,000? And they were like, no, but we can do this. We can give you 2 gloves and a pair of spikes. A first base glove, a third base glove, and a pair of spikes. That I'm pretty sure if I tell you, none of you guys remember. They're called Tennell spikes. Terrible. But I wore them things like they were the best Nikes out. They gave me that. And in the back of my mind, I said, it's okay. I'm going to win these MVPs. And I'm going to get to the big leagues, and I'm going to make my money back. That's where I'm going to make my money.
That's right.
Because I don't plan on being in the minors long.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, because I already had a good career in college. So I played against all them drafted guys and did well there, you know,
Right.
by my Hall of Fame numbers. And I don't tell you how good I did there.
Right.
So I was like, I'm on that level.
Right.
So when we continued to go through every level, I went there, won MVPs, won batting titles, all that stuff, until finally after my second year with Toronto, that I was hitting close to 400 at All-Star break.
No.
I was hitting,
Wow.
and then so I won the batting title, the MVP of the league, MVP of my team. Obviously went to the All-Star game. That's when I got on the radar of Toronto, and then that's when I knew that, okay, this is going to get real now. And then each level, it's pretty much the same baseball, man. Rookie ball, A ball, double A, triple A. Only thing that changes is our mindset,
Right.
our approach, the way we go about our business, and I tell the kids that I coach now, I go, hey, man, you ran faster than me right now, and you're 16. And you throw harder than me.
Right.
I said, but you know where I got you? I got you right here.
Right.
That's where I got you.
Right.
I know my mindset. I know my plan. I always had a routine, all that stuff. And I did that same routine from day one all the way till I retired.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All the way till I retired. So baseball really doesn't change. It's the intelligence that changes as you keep going up. The guys are smart, man. Pitchers. I mean, there were some guys in the minors that I played against, and I go, wow, this dude is like Alex Rodriguez to me. Or, the next Ken Griffey Jr.
Right.
Dang.
Right.
But then you start talking to him, and he don't know about situational hitting, this, that, none of it. It goes over his head. And I go, that's why this guy's still in the minors.
Right. Right.
So it comes down to that. It's a mindset thing.
Right.
Except for Japan. Japan is more a faster league. A lot of bunting, stealing, slash, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Pitchers, they don't throw as hard, but they all have great control, and they can control everything. They throw a lot of splits, I mean, I remember getting 3-0 split finger for a strike. I'm like,
wow.
So that's the one difference from Japan to here. But other than that, man, that's it. Baseball's baseball.
Yeah, definitely. Now, what feeling did you have when you got the call? You know the call I'm talking about. Like, everybody talks about that call. Like, you're right. Like, what were you doing? And, how to, just kind of walk me through that entire, situation of how it happened.
Okay, well, that year was in 2001. That year, I don't know, you guys remember, the Texas Rangers opened up against the Toronto Blue Jays in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
So, I'm Puerto Rican, and that was our home field that I used to play on.
Nice.
All the time. So they invited me to that because we played a couple exhibition games before they actually made the rosters, and then they started the MLB season.
Yeah.
So they invited us on the trip. So I was on that trip, and I stayed all the way till the end because the first pitch I saw there, boom, hit a home run.
Yeah.
Next at bat, boom, a base hit, 2 more RBIs. So all the guys are going nuts, and they're like, "Oh my God, Lope, you gonna make this team?" You know, Delgado, Mondesi, you know, Chris Carpenter, all of them. You had and I was like, "Well, let's see what happens." So I made it to the last day, and Buck Martinez was my manager. And Buck. Not for nothing, Dave Stewart was our assistant GM. Ooh. You talk about a guy being genuine and honest. It was Dave Stewart.
That's what's up.
So both of those guys were very straight up with me the whole spring training, that whole year, everything. The way they would tell me is the way it happened.
Wow.
You know, and that's very rare in professional level.
Very rare. Very rare.
I can count the guys on one hand.
Right.
That were honest with me in them 20 years.
Wow.
That was straight up with me. And those were 2 guys.
Right.
So they told me, you know, Louis, you basically made this team, man. But we don't have a spot for you right now. We had to take the other guy, Ryan Frio, may he rest in peace, because he was able to play everything.
Yeah.
Back up like short, catch, outfield. Yeah, he was he was like one of the first super utilities around.
Right, right.
So that's how that came in. And they go, "Don't worry, you'll be back." So Buck Martinez said that. But me, everything I went through, I was like, I took it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, a little disappointed. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? I said, okay. So, you know, fast forward, we go to the whole month. I'm in Syracuse, New York, AAA. And it was already, I had been there since 98. So this was my 4th season in AAA. And I've hit like 330 every year. So we go and it was towards the end of the month, I remember. I was hitting like 370, had like 5 home runs. I had like 20-something RBIs already within the month. I mean, I was on absolute fire. And I'm doing that, and all of a sudden I get the tap on my shoulder. I'm in front of my locker. So they go, O wants to see you. And Omar Malave, our manager. And me and him have a relationship that we went back for years in Double A and everything. And he was always joking with me, playing pranks on me and stuff like that. So I'm walking and I'm thinking, did I miss a sign today? Did I do something bad in the game? Did I make an error? Did I argue with an umpire? You know, all them things are going through my mind except for you're getting called up to the big leagues. So I'm listening. I'm walking over, and he goes, "What's up?" He goes, "Oh, sit down." I go, "No, I'm good." And he goes, because he was a jokester, man.
Right.
This guy, Omar Malave, he's a jokester. And he goes, how does it go? You know, your walk-up song. You know, what are the words that it says in the beginning? And it was a Spanish song mixed in with, you know, Big Pun. It was 100%, the 100% song.
Yeah.
So it says, "Cuando llegará el día de mi suerte?" So translated is, when is it going to be the day that my luck is going to change?
Wow.
That's how that song started.
Yeah.
Before I would go to walk up home plate.
Wow.
So he goes, "It's today." And I go, "Oh," I said, "Oh, that's messed up. You know what I've been through."
Right.
And you're going to joke about this?
Yeah.
Don't joke about this? That's cool, man. No worries. Turned around, walked out the office. Walked out.
Pissed off. Yeah.
Pissed off. The hitting coach comes back, and it was Kenny Landreau. And Kenny, he goes, "No." He goes, "What's up, man?" I go, "Yo," I said, "You know how O is, man. Always joking around and everything, man." He called me in the office talking about I'm leaving to Toronto tomorrow. And he goes, "Lope, you are." And I go, "Kenny, don't be like him."
Don't do it.
I said, "I respect you." Yeah, I respect you like forget it. You know, I mean, he was a superstar that I used to watch playing for the Dodgers growing up as a kid when they played the Yankees all the time. And I'm like, "Kenny." And he goes, "I'm serious. You're going up." Cried like a baby. Cried like a baby. He grabbed me, man. I'm crying on his shoulder. Everything. It was every single my teammates come running out. They're yelling. We're all celebrating in the hallways in front of all the media and the press. and everything. They didn't know. So then all of a sudden they found out, and they were like, okay, well, they knew what happened.
Yeah.
So the main guy that been there doing it, he goes, I've been doing this for 20-something years. That is the best expression of teammates that I've seen for a guy getting called up.
That's real.
I said, well,
Wow.
I said they knew that struggle.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah. You earned it, man. You earned it the hard way. Yeah.
Crazy, man.
That's what's
It's
up.
coming up. Hey, you know what? You know what's crazy? It's April 27th when I get called up. That's my little daughter's birthday.
Wow.
Incredible.
I'll never forget.
Yeah, you'll never forget that. That double special, right?
Wow.
Double special.
You know, yeah.
That's dope. That's dope, man. That's dope.
Yeah.
It was meant to be. It was meant to be.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So we
That-
keep talking about how you were this incredible force in the box, right? Who's the
Yes.
best hitter you've ever seen?
Hmm.
With, against, doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, like I told you, it's guys that I looked up to. There's two of them. I got a righty and a lefty.
Okay.
Tony Gwynn, and Edgar Martinez.
Yeah.
Them two guys were unbelievable.
So
What they
effortless
did.
in regards to how they swung the bat, man. Like,
Never struck out.
yeah.
Nothing. You talk
Yeah.
about putting the ball in play, passing the baton, all that stuff. They did it.
Definitely.
They did it. I mean, you look at the stuff that they did, and now that you look at their numbers, and you're like, wow, this is crazy
Yeah.
what these guys did. You know. But yeah, those are the two best, man. Those were the two best by far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a good one for you guys that you guys probably, I don't know if you're gonna ask me, but I'm gonna mention it. So I get called up there my first day.
Yep.
We're playing the Angels. So I get asked to pinch hit in the 8th inning for Darren Fletcher.
Nice.
Runner on second, tie game. Left-handed pitcher comes in, and it's Mike Holtz.
Oh, I
He
remember
had
Mike
pitched at
Holtz.
Clemson University.
Mhm.
Being at Coastal, we played Clemson all the time. Oh, look, this is a scouting report. I go, who is that? I said, is that Holtz? Yeah, this is Holtz. I said, oh, I know what he got. I got fastball, curveball, changer. Yeah, Lope, no doubt. You faced him before? Yeah. So those are the little conversations that the hitters are having with the hitting coach
Yeah.
when they're breaking out all them papers. And in my mind, I was like, I don't even need those papers. I know what this dude's about. So I come up there, and Benji Molina is coming, those are my boys, man. The three Molina brothers.
And shouts to them. Yep.
Those are my boys, man. And Benji, he's walking back, and he's like telling me in Spanish, oh, congratulations, bro. You know, this, that. And, he's like, yeah, I'm doing my routine that I always, clean the dirt and stuff like that, moving around. And he goes, yo, relax, because you ain't hitting today. And I said, what? I go, what are you talking about? So, and this is all, I had to get the DVD because nobody's going to believe me. I had to get it. I still got it.
Yeah.
So he goes, yo, relax. You ain't going to hit today. I go, what are you talking about? He goes, because we're going to put you on. I go, what? For real? He goes, yeah. Boom. They intentionally walked me my first at bat.
Wow.
No way.
Oh, man.
True story, man. True story.
Oh, my gosh.
That's funny. That's funny.
Oh,
You ain't hitting today.
back then they still were throwing the pitches.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I get ball one, and the first thing that popped in my mind, I go, oh my God, I'm gonna be a trivia question. This is
Yeah.
crazy. I don't remember ever seeing this.
Yo, never. You're right. I've never seen that. That's crazy. That's crazy.
It happened about maybe like in 2015, 2016. Hunter Renfroe, that's playing for Boston right now.
Yeah.
He got called up to the Padres. And sure enough, they intentionally walked him. And on the bottom of the TV, they put on the MLB network, last guy that this happened to was in 2001, Luis Lopez, blah, blah, blah.
Wow.
My phone lit up like a Christmas tree with all the parents and kids. Yo, Coach Lou, look at that.
That's dope. That's dope. That's dope.
Oh, man. I'll never
gotta
forget
love
it.
baseball, man.
In
I love
baseball,
it.
Yeah.
That's
love
fun.
It. Love it.
Yeah.
That is fun.
That's
All right.
cool.
So
Oh,
Louis, I'll counter Mike's point with a similar question. Who is the best pitcher you've ever seen, with or against lights out guy?
That's easy. John Smoltz.
Oh,
Ooh.
nice.
Good
Okay.
answer.
Mind you, I faced Clemens. I faced Schilling. I faced Randy Johnson. I faced
Wow.
Mariano.
You played
Faced
with Halliday.
Well, Halliday was with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Roy was with me. Halliday was with me. Carpenter was with me.
Yep.
We also had, my boy still to this day, Pedro Bourbon. He was with me. He was a nasty lefty at that time, man.
Oh yeah.
But I tell you, man, Smoltz, he threw the first pitch and it moved everywhere.
Yeah, his motion was ridiculous. Ridiculous. And he didn't throw that soft neither, too.
No, this dude's throwing 97.
Yeah.
So, and all of a sudden I step out and I go, how in the hell are these guys hitting this guy when his ball's moving like a wiffle ball? He threw nothing straight. Nothing. I went 0 for that night. I didn't get nothing out of the infield.
Ain't that the best? He throws one pitch and you already know you're out. I'm
Yeah.
Louis, did you at least get the bat off your shoulders, man?
Yeah, I hit some ground balls and stuff. I said, okay, at least I didn't strike out.
Right.
But it was unbelievable, man. His ball moved everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Just as far as movement. And that's what I explained to the kids. I go, you see nowadays, everybody's so worried about velo.
Mm-hmm.
Velo doesn't get you out. It's moving that gets you out.
Right.
Yeah.
Location.
Like you can hit 100 miles an hour fastball if it's straight. You know what I mean? Like that's easy.
I turned it around.
Right.
I turned it around.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I faced guys that threw 100 and turned it right around and hit it back 110.
Right.
You know? But them guys with that movement and stuff, Mariano, come on, he had one pitch.
One pitch.
He's a Hall of Famer.
One pitch
and we knew it was coming.
Right.
Mariano threw one pitch for 20 years. Nobody can hit it.
You know it's coming. You just don't know where it's gonna finish.
Where it's gonna finish, or what, or how many bats is gonna blow up on you.
Right.
He blew up a couple on me. He got me. That's for sure. And then I finally got a hit off him. I was so damn happy. I was like, yeah.
Now, Louis, tell me, like, the one thing about baseball nowadays, and I've had this conversation with Mike and Matt, is that the game is so different in regards to what they're teaching hitters and pitchers, at the lower levels. Like you said, it's all about velo. For the hitters, it's all about mashing home runs and not worrying about striking out and make sure that your on base percentage is good. Like, do you feel that approach is a good approach to have? Because I'm old school. I love small ball. I love situational hitting. I love those things. And what we see in the game now, we don't see that. So, you just answered it like you hate it, but you kind of
yeah, for sure. No doubt. And I have this discussion all the time. And and the thing is, I'm not saying that I'm all old school.
Yeah. But
you can't be all new school. There's no way. It's not going to work.
You can't be so heavy analytics and stuff like that. Yeah.
100%. They both work together.
Right.
They both work together because the numbers are there and everything like that. And you're looking at stuff. They're going to be there. That numbers help us out.
Right.
They're there for our reference.
Right.
They're there to back up what we've been teaching all along. Now we have proof. So we talk about, like, for instance, the big thing is launch angle. Yes, there's always been launch angle. But the thing is, as a hitter, you start understanding and experiencing the pitches that you can hit hard or the pitches that you can drive out the park. That comes with experience. What they're teaching now is swing at everything hard and try to hit everything out. It don't matter if you strike out.
Right.
And that's wrong because you're not helping your team. This game is about scoring runs. So how are you going to score runs if everybody's striking out?
Right.
At least I can put the ball in play. If you notice, the past few years, we can go back, I don't know, all the way to the Mets in Kansas City, San Francisco and Kansas City too. All those teams from there all the way till now. That's when all this analytics started. But the teams that won it, the teams that put the ball in play.
Right.
Yeah.
They hit line to line.
Situational hitting.
Hey, we can get on base with an error, whatever, get on base with walks. Maybe they don't want to face you. They're going to pitch you hard, and you're up there still trying to hit a home run off a pitch. Now they're elevating balls that you can't even hit that pitch up here on belt high.
Right.
Because everybody's swinging like that, going up.
Everybody has an uppercut. Yeah.
So now my thing is, we're working closely now with blast motion with our organization also now. So on every kid, we have one of those little sensors on the bottom of their bat. Guess what? It's a lot of numbers, a lot of analytics, a lot of science, no doubt. But what I took from it when they broke it down to me, those numbers are showing exactly what I'm teaching. Now I have proof. It's showing what degrees the bat has to be, what this has to be, instead of us saying, okay, swing level, blah, blah, blah. Now I can tell them, okay, I want you to stay in between, 20 and 30 or whatever.
Now
on the angle.
You have the data to back it up.
The data.
Yeah.
The data to back it up. And all that stuff. So that's what we're using. So I'm like, this thing right here, it's going to get rid of that fad about teaching these kids how to hit a pop-up. When you're in a cage and you're 5 feet and you hit the ball straight up in the air and you tell the kid, good swing.
Right.
My man, that's out. How is that out?
Right.
Are you kidding me? Maybe in a Little League field, it might go out. Everybody hit home runs in Little League fields.
Right.
But I'm like, that's an out in big boy baseball.
Yeah.
That's right.
So that's one thing that I tell our boys, man. Learn how to hit the ball hard. As you get stronger, then you're going to hit home runs.
But before you go, Mike, I just wanted to ask you, Louis, when do you think that approach changed and why? There was nothing wrong with the game. Like, why did they feel that this was something that was needed to be changed or tweaked?
Because owners and organizations started paying for home runs. And started giving that big money.
Got you.
And it was all coming down to home runs and RBIs or whatever. Yeah. That's it. They could care less. They didn't care about average.
Nope.
They didn't care about strikeouts. None of that. And back in the day, it was. So I was like, but what about our power hitters? Juan Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Miguel Cabrera. David Ortiz. Manny Ramirez.
Carlos Delgado.
All them dudes hit 330, 340 and had 30, 40, 50 home runs.
Right.
With 100 plus. They did both.
Right.
Why can't we teach that?
Right. Albert Pujols to me was one of the prime examples, a guy that hit for high average power and never struck out. So
10 or 11 years in a row
when
he first came up.
So
that was nuts.
It just didn't make sense to me, but I agree with you though, 100%.
Albert Pujols, one of the most technically perfect swings in baseball history in my mind. That swing was so perfect that seriously, that's what they taught me. When I played, right? And I I'm relatively young, but that's what they taught me was Albert Pujols, Alex Rodriguez, like those guys without the crazy, like
the explosion at the point of contact was just compact. Bow, like there was minimum
wasn't a million Joey Gallos in the major leagues, right?
Right.
Guys that hit 210 but hit 45 homers,
right?
That's that kind of stuff. I always tell my kids too, right? There's
when
no
they
such
say
thing as cage bombs.
When they say the guy when he hits that the ball sounds different.
Yes,
that was Pujols.
Yes,
that was Pujols. It was I'm at BP and I'm playing against him that night. And I'm there, we're stretching. In the big leagues, you usually stretch behind the turtle right next to when they're hitting.
Yeah.
And all I'm hearing is whack, whack, but it's a different sound. And I'm like, what the hell what kind of bat is he using? Oh, no, it's a regular bat. I didn't know if it was like, a bomb bat or something. It sounded completely different. And I'm like, this dude is a special breed. And, that's, you have guys like that. Yeah, Same thing with Miguel Cabrera. Who's hitting the ball.
You know who else too, Louis, who had a different sound off their bat when they first came up? Josh Hamilton.
Yes.
Josh Hamilton. I remember the day that he got called up by the Reds. And I was watching the game and I had my head down and I was watching. I think I was eating something and I heard the crack. And I literally got shook because I was like, I haven't heard a crack like that since Alex Rodriguez in Seattle, and I was like, who is this kid? Like, you know what I mean? And it was Josh Hamilton. So,
You want to talk about hitting the ball hard. modern day guy, that crack of the bat for me was Cody Bellinger.
Oh yeah,
that
He
dude
hits it
hits the
hard.
ball hard.
he has an old school feel to him. Yeah,
That's right.
And mind you, he's just tall.
yeah,
So he
Yeah.
creates all his power with leverage.
right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And he's not really a big time,
No, he isn't.
gym rat.
Yeah, he's a wiry
You know,
guy.
he works out.
Right. He's
Yeah.
not
Wiry
Prince
guy.
Fielder.
Right,
Prince, you look at, Giancarlo Stanton.
right.
You look at them guys, like them dudes are jacked.
Yeah,
He's not like that.
no.
But you're absolutely right. He does. He does. And creates leverage and that
Yeah.
whip.
Yep.
It's
Leverage and whip, man.
So we're talking a little bit about, analytics and, how stuff like launch angle and the way that we teach those things are kind of, putting a damper on the game. So, and I understand, again, trust me, from a guy who's played baseball his whole life, I understand that this is not just a numbers game. They're important, but they're not, it isn't just a numbers game.
Right.
And it might be a tough question for you to answer, but from a singular player standpoint, what is the most, and let's just say for a hitter, let's take the pitchers out. Okay. For a hitter, what's the most important stat?
For me?
Yeah.
For me, I think it's on base percentage.
Okay.
Get on base.
I agree.
Get on
That's
base,
important.
and we can cause ruckus.
Yeah,
We can steal, we can bunt, we can, hit and run, this, that, or get more walks. The more guys you put on base, the more and more the pressure goes onto the pitcher.
Yes.
And then he's got to, he's got to come into the zone sometime at some point.
right.
If not, if he wants to walk the house, let him walk the house.
Right.
Like I said, I'll go back. It's runs scored. The more runs we score, and that's how you win ball games. But you got to get on base to do that.
Yeah.
Strikeouts won't help that. Even the average. Okay, you don't want to talk about average. That's fine, but you need to have walks.
So
Walks, hit by pitches, whatever.
So here's something that I argue with people a lot is, somebody like Aaron Judge, right? Who Aaron Judge strikes out almost more than anybody in the major leagues, but his on base percentage is 410. Like, where do you place a guy like that as far, where do you see a guy like that? Honestly,
He's unique.
Yeah, he's a freak. That's one. There's only a few certain guys like that. You can't teach everybody to hit like Aaron Judge. It's impossible. And you look at guys, even them, they're trying to cut down on strikeouts. They asked Mike Trout, what'd you work on in the offseason, blah, blah, to cut down on strikeouts. There's no way I should be striking out 180 times.
Right.
Mind you look at my numbers, and I have MVP numbers.
Right.
Could you imagine instead of striking out 180 and I struck
100?
out 100 times?
Right.
right.
You're putting the ball 80 times more in play.
Right.
There ain't no telling what his numbers could be.
Right. 25 of
so
those are hits. And right.
Exactly. And they understand what they're, that the same thing with Judge. He understands. He works on it. He did it this year. He got back to his short compact swing. He noticed, and his timing was off. And, last year was a tough year for them guys, man. They didn't know if they were going to play or what. Should they work out?
Yep.
This, that. And then all of a sudden they go, okay, we're going. Boom.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's why a lot of the superstars and everybody having off years. But look at them now.
Yeah.
They're looking like themselves again.
Right.
Yeah.
The guys that were the very good players. But, that's my opinion on that stuff, man.
Yeah.
If those guys put the ball in play even more, their numbers will be off the roof. But those guys are freaks, man. That's why they're gonna put up numbers anyway.
Right.
It don't matter.
Yeah, Matt.
Hey, Lou, I'm glad we're kind of shifting into like modern baseball players right now. There's no shortage of superstars right now in Major League Baseball, and there's a bunch of people that are up for the debate of who the face of baseball is. Right, that's the big narrative right now is who's the face of baseball. All these guys getting huge contracts. Tatis Jr. You look at Trout getting the money, Mookie Betts, guys like that. So what I'm interested to know is who are some of the young guys in the league right now, the up and comers, like the people that have solidified themselves as forces in the game that you would tell the kids that you've been coaching, keep your eye on that guy. He's going to be a special player once he starts to develop a little bit more.
Well, you look at those three guys that you mentioned, and then the other one that everybody always seems to leave out is Juan Soto.
Guy's
Yes.
crazy.
Unbelievable, man.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
He is unreal, man. You know, talk about having a good eye, takes his walks, hits for average, hits for power, plays good defense. Yeah.
He's got
He's
the head.
way smarter than his
Mhm.
age. They were talking about that the other day. They were like, what's scary? He's only 21, but his thinking is not like a 21-year-old.
Kind of reminds me of Cabrera when he came up. Miguel Cabrera. He was
100%.
wise above his age too when he came up, man. He was young.
100%. So those four guys, I think, are the main guys right now, man. The up and coming. You talk about not the up and coming, but they're the stars and the face. Them, I say them four. Obviously you can't leave out Trout because he's still right there with them other three guys.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Tell you what,
No,
the
but,
one that immediately comes to mind for me is for some reason it's Ronald Acuna. Ronald Acuna, when I see him,
yeah.
when
Yes.
you see Ronald
Oh,
Acuna
yeah.
Jr. step up to the plate, they're like, okay, this kid's gonna do something. And we
You
talked
got to
about it
throw him
before.
in that group. He's
Yep.
in
Yeah.
that group.
When we
100%.
talked about it before, his balls sounding differently off of their bats, he's in that category.
Yeah.
That kid he's a problem. And again, it's still a very young kid, but he's going to be a force for a very long time.
Yep. That's that whole crew. That from them five, man. That's unbelievable.
Has the
The way
glove
they
too.
play. Yep.
Mhm.
That is a good call. Cunha. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I grew up a heavy baseball fan, Louis. Baseball is my favorite sport even to this day. I grew up playing basketball, but baseball was always my love. And the reason because of that is because I saw guys that looked like me playing the game. The African American percentage in baseball in the major leagues right now is probably the lowest it's ever been. What do they put Griffey on that task recently, for him to kind of get that back up. What do you think Major League Baseball can be able to do to kind of advertise the game to, kids that are in the inner cities? Because, me growing up, I can tell you that there were baseball diamonds everywhere. You look around now, there's not many baseball diamonds anymore. So, I guess that kind of affects the exposure for the sport. But, is there anything else that they can be able to do to kind of put these numbers back up there? Yeah.
That's one problem. The fields. There aren't too many of them out there. The other thing is what we talked about earlier. Baseball is getting to become a sport that's very expensive.
Right.
So we wanted to change that.
Yeah.
And that's why we create. So a lot of our kids do come from the inner cities.
Right.
And we talk about, being diverse and everything like that. And we hold tryouts because I'm also a varsity coach at a prep school.
Yes.
Called the Harvey School, which is between 50 and 60,000 a year. We have dorms, we got everything. So, we got in that school, you got the rich kids, all the way down to kids that I'm finally being able to bring in.
Right.
So they allow me to recruit. They weren't doing that before. So when I got hired on the job, I mentioned that to them to try and create that. And that's exactly why we started the Nighthawks.
Right.
To try and get it more diverse and bring kids, get them from the inner city so that they can play and give them a chance, the same chance that people that had money were able to get in front of those showcases, in front of the right people. We take them to the same things. Mind you, we're paying for it now. All they got to worry about with the hotel, their food. Obviously, if I'm coaching the team and I'm out there, I ain't going to let a kid starve either.
That's right.
Or if he can't afford it, I'm going to end up paying some of the hotel also.
Right.
Yeah.
So, that's one thing. That's the reason, the big reason why we started the New York Nighthawks. And that's why we brought this to MLB Players Association, because to let them know what we're doing. And we're right here in New York.
Right.
Right where the offices are based. So that we can continue to help grow with this. And hopefully we start grabbing some other organizations to be able to combine with us.
Absolutely.
They'll be able, who knows, maybe they'll still be able to probably keep their name and everything like that, but we're on the same mission.
Right. Same.
Is what I'm trying
collab.
that's what we need to do. Yeah.
Right.
So but we want to do it the right way by creating, us getting the right organizations to be involved with us. Because, like I said, man, it's getting expensive. It's all the way from $3,000 to $10,000 for a season.
That's crazy.
Nuts.
That's crazy.
People dipping into their 401ks to pay for it.
That's unfortunate, man. That's unfortunate.
Even
But
equipment, man.
What you guys are doing is amazing, man. So shouts to you guys, man.
Thank
I'm
you.
really thankful that we have people that care. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
for these kids that are growing up in, underprivileged homes and stuff, like, they just want people to care and show some effort and give them some time. You know what I mean? So, what you're doing is, there's not a price on it, man. It really is. It really isn't. So,
You know what
shouts to
makes
you.
us happy too? If I tell you guys this, you're gonna say like, what?
Yeah.
We had 2 kids that were homeless. Both of them are in college.
Wow.
Incredible. Really amazing.
Wow.
I don't know how they did it. They had good grades, everything, bouncing around from here, there, whatever. Them boys are in college right now and on schedule and everything, ready to graduate. One is ready to graduate 1 more year. The other one just broke into college
That's
this
amazing.
year.
That's
Wow.
amazing.
Awesome.
That's
Yeah.
dope.
So
It's just
You know,
great stuff.
That's
It's
dope.
just great stuff that you're doing. Really,
pretty
honestly,
cool, man.
it really is. It really is. And I with all these travel programs that I've heard of and have played with and have coached with and all of these things, you're the only one that I know that's doing stuff like that. So that's really
you.
awesome stuff, Louis. I really appreciate you on that.
Thanks.
So before we let you go, we ask this question to everybody that we interview. And
What?
I'm very curious to hear what your answer is because
Me
you're
too.
the first baseball guy that we've got.
Yeah.
So who is the greatest athlete of all time in any sport?
Oh,
That reaction's
no,
about
no. I'm thinking right now.
Yo, listen,
and
that's normal. That's a normal reaction. Trust me.
I'm not even thinking of a baseball player.
Yeah, it don't have to be. Yeah, it don't have to be.
Anything you want. Anybody you choose.
Anything you want, man.
Man, I'll tell you right now, man. What Tom Brady is doing is impressive.
Yeah.
At the age he's doing it, and still he ain't declining. Nothing. I don't care what nobody says. It's amazing. And he's coming back, and he's going to continue to play. And that's a guy you just give him a contract, and you tell him retire when you want,
Right.
because he's going to put in the work.
Yeah.
You ain't got to worry about him.
Yeah.
You ain't got to worry about him. To me, I think it's him, man. Tom Brady, and obviously, we have our boys Jordan and LeBron.
Okay.
Yep.
So you're going with Brady.
I'm going with Brady.
All
man.
right, cool.
Good answer.
Is
Good
that our
answer.
first
That
Brady?
is-
Is that our first Brady?
First Tom Brady.
Nice.
Wow.
Huh?
Nice.
That is our
Beautiful.
first Tom Brady. You know what? It's so funny. I'm going to make this joke probably until we stop doing this, but we got an animal before we got Tom Brady.
Oh, wow, really?
Somebody picked Secretariat before we heard Tom Brady.
Wow. I mean, to win 1 ring is hard.
Mm-hmm.
That dude got 7.
You got the 7 of the things,
Incredible.
right? 7 of
Crazy.
the things.
Right?
Nuts.
And then to think about that, then, now that I think about way ahead, now you look at Bill Russell, he got 11.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
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 So,
But you know what?
Yeah.
Bill Russell's rings don't count because he was playing against milkmen.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Unbelievable
Don't
how
do
some
that.
people think.
Yeah, it's crazy how he gets lost in the conversation and nobody talks. It's Brady,
talks about-
it's Jordan, and they don't even
Yep.
A
mention
lot of
Bill
people
Russell.
now don't even know who Bill Russell
They don't
is.
even know who he is.
Yeah.
Is that the
Yeah,
guy
that's
that
crazy.
hands the trophy in the
Mhm.
finals? Is that
Yeah.
bro? He's a big deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, man, it's amazing. But Louis, this was great, man. This was a great conversation. Thank you for coming on.
Cool, man.
This
It
was
my
fun.
pleasure.
Yeah, definitely. So just let everybody know where they can find you and what's going on with you in the future.
For sure. Well, I'm in 2 places right now. I'm the varsity head coach at the Harvey School. This is going to be my 6th season right now.
Wow.
We actually, in my 4th year, it was the first time ever in school's history we won the championship.
Nice.
And the school had been
Wow.
around for 100 years.
Wow.
So,
Nice.
we're building up that
Congratulations.
program. Thank you. We're trying to become a powerhouse in prep schools and bring kids there. So, pass the word on. We're always looking for kids. We got great programs, especially for the academics. Our academics are huge. It's like an Ivy League high school.
Yeah.
We have dorms. We have all that. And the New York Nighthawks, which is our academy, myself, Sandy, and Maria Agba, we started this foundation. We base it right out of the school, out of the Harvey School. So those are the facilities that we use. We had the baseball field all there, our cages. We really fixed it up and donated stuff to the school as well, because we want both of them to work together.
Awesome.
We're just trying to help kids, get on to the next level where we've been, and trying to get them there now. Just trying to do it the right way. But New York Nighthawks, and we're on Instagram, Twitter. We have our websites as well up. We're fixing we have the foundation page up. The other website for the New York Nighthawks, we're still working on that one. That one's still under construction.
Okay, cool.
And then the Harvey School, you also can find us on Twitter and Instagram. Always trying to post all nice stuff for the kids and give them life lessons.
Definitely. Well, listen, we're all based in New York, so we're definitely gonna be. Mike is coaching, so we'll pass on some talent to you, man. If we see it,
that'll be great, man. Come by, man.
So we're definitely gonna check it out, man. Definitely want to check it out. Absolutely.
What age group you coaching, Mike?
Young, right? I'm working with
Awesome.
9-10s right now.
Okay, because at the school we also have a middle school as well.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm working my way up.
Paying my dues.
Well, listen, man, like I said, this was great, Louis. So I appreciate you coming on, man. Hopefully we can be able to have you on sometime in the future as well.
For sure, man. Definitely. You guys keep in touch, and thank you for having me, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
Continue
Louis.
success, fellas.
Thank you so much,
All
man.
right.
All right. Later.
Later, guys.